What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Leading Off with Brodes. I'm super excited. A new show here on Brodes Media, and we are going to tackle this Philadelphia Phillies season. So what this show is all about, if you have not heard yet, this is going to be Monday through Friday Philadelphia Phillies games 1 hour before the game begins. So Monday through Friday games 1 hour before, I will lead you in to Phillies baseball, leading off with Brodes. Here we go. I'm super pumped up. So, how this is going to work. Of course, we have the comment section that will continue to get drilled by you all, and we will attack some of the comments that you are going to display for sure. And on top of that, we have something called the batter's box. How about we head to the batter's box? All right, so the first topic in the batter's box, we will look at this lineup. And when I saw it pop, if you were listening to Coffee with Brodes this morning, I was on another level. I was just raging with, one, coffee and a ton of caffeine and the excitement for opening day. But the news dropped, bang, Jim Salisbury of NBC Sports Philadelphia, all the Phillies beat reporters dropped the lineup as we were talking about coffee and other nonsense that happened last night, and I was pumped up. So why don't we talk about this? Andrew McCutchen leading off, and I'm just thinking about, okay, here's Kutch, older in his career. Now, what were we informed? We were informed that this is a different version of Andrew McCutchen. It seems like he has a little bit of his jump left. It looks like he has a little bit more of what he once was prior to the injury. I would love for that to happen. I need to see it first, though, before I go head deep into Andrew McCutchen is back. But what is, and I guess this is going to be a common theme for today's show, what is a fair expectation for Andrew McCutchen? If Kutch gives you 250 when it comes to batting average and gives you about a 350 OBP, is that what we are looking for at a Kutch? Now, he's a professional. He knows how to get it done. And we've seen, remember when he fell apart? And what happened? Well, when he fell down and got injured and the entire team fell apart years ago, well, there is something to be said about the veteranness of being a leadoff hitter, understanding taking the proper pitches, knowing when to pounce. I'll never forget when he hit that bomb to start the season off just years ago. So there is a craft to it. And I know that he's been there many, many years, and he knows how to operate from the leadoff position. But what are we expecting? What should we expect out of Andrew McCutchen? Is 250 and about 350 OBP where we should begin? I think that is the most realistic thing to look at. It's the most realistic possible numbers, I feel, for where Andrew McCutchen is at now. How many games is he going to play? Well, that's a fascinating question. And looking at what the situation is out in center field, do you feel like, hey, maybe I could slide Adam Hazley to left field, and that would give Roman Quinn an opportunity to play center field? Is that a way to get guys in there? And is that a way to maybe limit what Andrew McCutchen is going to be? Or is this a season where we don't have to worry about that? Do they have a different mindset, a different philosophy for the one, Andrew McCutchen? I just wonder if that's possible. If they think, hey, we saw him in spring training, we realize that there's a little bit more jump in his step. Maybe we don't need to limit him as much as maybe we thought. But I don't know. I feel that's a little silly. That's a little too extreme for the Andrew McCutchen assessment, if you will. Now, batting two is Rhys Hoskins. And that is something that I have been a little bit iffy on to this point, right? I haven't been this big, diehard Rhys Hoskins in the two-hole fan, but I just wonder, we needed him to be that four-hole hitter in years past. We looked at him as a player that could play opposite, as if we're talking about Darius Slay. That just comes right out of my mouth because of how many times we talk about opposite side of Darius Slay. When it comes to, on the other side, giving Bryce Harper a little protection. Bang, you get Bryce Harper. I said Bryce Harper needs protection. But Rhys Hoskins batting in the cleanup, we needed him to do that. The way I look at this thing playing out, when you have JT Realmuto, when you add Alec Boehm, who hit 338 last season, small sample size, and I can't wait to watch this kid continue to deliver because there's something special in Alec Boehm. Do you need Rhys Hoskins to be that home run killer? I don't know if you do. It's like the Ben Simmons effect. We needed Ben Simmons to be that guy in years past. Now that you have Embiid at an MVP level, now that you have Tobias Harris stepping up, now that you have the spacing on the floor, is it possible that you don't need Rhys Hoskins to be that same level of a home run hitter that you needed in the past? I know he's going to be very focused on walking. He's going to try and get on base in front of Bryce Harper, so then it's tougher to pitch with Bryce Harper up the bat. Now you got to think, all right, well, I can't just allow him to get on base. Now we're talking about two guys on. It changes the dynamic of the pitcher up on the mound. So when you look at it from Rhys Hoskins' perspective, is there now enough on this team? Now you're at a point where you don't need him to be as effective as that number for I need X amount of home runs out of him. Just let Rhys be Rhys. You have Alec Boehm. You have Didi Gregorius. You have JT Realmuto. The combination of all of these players now have it where it's less of a stress factor on Rhys Hoskins. I think it is very possible that that is the case. We know what we're getting out of Bryce, right? Somewhere in between 35 and 40 dingers. He's going to be explosive. He's going to rake. He'll get you those doubles, those hustle plays to second base where the flow is just flying in the wind. The helmet flies off and he's chasing down second base first slide. Maybe looks back to the dugout. Gives you one of these. Gives you one of these, right? You know what you're getting out of Bryce Harper. And, there was some flirting around about where should Bryce Harper bat because he's your best guy. Is it possible that you get the best out of him in the 2-hole? I have no issues. All right, I'm not going to sit here and complain about the lineup. Quite frankly, I look at this lineup and I think, holy hell, this is deep. Holy hell, this could be something unbelievable. And, look, where's the gap here? The gap gets where Haseley, Segura, and as much of Segura is not on the level of these other guys, but the best version of Segura, I don't know if you're going to get that, but can it tie back to the expectations for Segura is no longer you're the 2-hole hitter that we need you to hit 300. Now, because you have all of these other players from 2 to 6 in the batting lineup, in the batting order, you don't need to be that much of a guy that's relied on so heavily. So Segura batting 7th, it's like, hey, just go up there and be you. Just go up there and be yourself. The problem is it worked and it was beneficial for this club before, but once one person went down, we saw it completely blow up. And realistically, we've seen this team in general blow up when it comes to late down the stretch. So that's way far down the road. We got about 140 baseball games until we get to that point, of course. But just something I'm looking at as we look at this baseball team. So Bryce in the 3-hole as we kind of expected. JT batting cleanup. I don't know what's going on with the whole finger, the whole injury problem. And he did bat, and when he batted during spring training in his very limited action, a nice how do you do, right? He crushed the baseball. It definitely was appealing to the eye, somewhat related to sex. I'm not saying I was, somewhat though. And it was nice. It was beautiful. It was dynamic. At a JT Realmuto batting in the 4, you got Fried. Maybe there's a matchup there that he could exploit and send one over the fence. But I'll be interested to see what JT Realmuto looks like and how his demeanor looks like. And do you see a grimace? Do you see maybe an awkward facial expression when it comes to the hand injury and relating that to what we saw in some of the issues that we witnessed during spring training? Alec Boehm, I mentioned the 338. This kid is special. 2 strikes, 1 strike, 0 strikes, full count. It doesn't matter. This kid has the it factor. Now, last year, he was a disaster defensively. Now, with all those disastrous plays, There would be one on a short hop. They would get it, and it would just be beautiful. A great transition to his glove. He'd throw it over to Rhys Hoskins, and we'd be like, what the hell? What the hell was that out of Alec Boehm, right? But then he'll have the ones where he's way too far off the line, or the ball would go right underneath of his legs. You're going to have the high highs, and you're going to have the low lows out of Alec Boehm. What will we see? What's the transition from last year to this year defensively at third base? That's something that is written down in my notepad. I got a bunch of things I'm looking for this season as we enter game one. And Alec Boehm, what is he going to be, is definitely one of those. Now, as we continue here, I'm realizing that there are some donations coming into the stream. So I definitely want to pop those up and give the people their donation onto the screen. So as we continue to discuss the lineup, just call me Flair. Lunchtime with Brodes. LOL. Let's go, Phillies. Win the NL East. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Yeah, dude, I can't wait for this. I don't know if they're going to win the NL East, of course, but I'm super pumped up. Right now, on the other side of this wall, I have Yankees on. I have Detroit on. I got 3 baseball games going on. And if you did not know, after this show, after the first episode of Leading Off with Brodes, this stream will shut down. And then 5-10 minutes after this is over, which is the 1-hour show, I will be live on the other side of this wall, and we will hang out together and watch the Phils. So that is on the table today, in case you didn't know. A $10 donation coming in from Alec Pags. Love the overlay and the energy, bro. Looking forward to Leading Off with Brodes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pags. You're a beauty. I really appreciate all the support to this point. So back with a little bit of the batting order. You got Didi batting 6th, and it's like when we were hypothetically speaking about, okay, let's take a look at this lineup. Let's take a look at what this team is. I would have a bunch of hypotheticals in my head on some of the lineups that I would like. And Didi would bat 6, and JT would be 6, and then sometimes it would be maybe Boehm at 6, even though, I'm bringing up the fact that there were many different options at 6. No, not Boehm at 6, because he's too good of a damn hitter to be batting in that area. I mean, he's special. Alec Boehm is special. So not really Boehm, but it would be Didi. It would be JT. It would be those options. And I would always get the comments, yo, how can you possibly JT? What? JT at 6 or Didi at 6? Someone's got to bat 6th. That just shows you the depth. Go back to, and I'm not claiming that this team is anywhere near a World Series championship type squad, but go back to what was the batting order for the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 6. I will do that for you. So let's look up Los Angeles Dodgers, right? Versus Tampa Bay Rays, Game 6. And if you look at this, let's go to the batting order here. Because I'm just trying to prove a point here that on these, when you're a better team, you bat in a certain spot. Now, keep in mind, Cody Bellinger, it wasn't like he was tearing it up like he was throughout the whole regular season. His batting average was 136, as it says here at the time. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cody Bellinger was batting 6th in the World Series. Once again, that's irrelevant to where the Phillies are going to go. But my point is, when you have a deep lineup, great hitters bat deep. I mean, that's just reality. That means you have a deep team, and that shows you the luxury that you have. Someone's got to bat 6th. So someone asked me in the chat, Brodes, how do you feel about Didi batting 6th? Someone has to bat 6. It just shows you the depth of this team. Now, thank you so much, Caden, for the 99-cent donation, the $1 donation with the super sticker. I really do appreciate all your support. So, Adam Hazley batting 8th. I love, and I mean love, the fact that they're giving him an opportunity to bat against Fried on opening day. It was a hot discussion. What was going to happen? Who was going to be playing center field? It looks like it's possibly a platoon situation. No, Roman Quinn bench guy. Commit Roman Quinn to being a bench guy, and I can see pinch running opportunities. He's not a great hitter. My man is going to strike out 3,000 times. We know that. I'm done with the experiment of he's going to get a chance to earn that role. And I heard Joe Girardi speaking with Mike Missinelli yesterday on 97.5 The Fanatic. So I heard him mention that, hey, we're going to give both of these players a chance. I'm done with the chance on Roman Quinn. I can't stand it. But this is a big statement for me, at least in the beginning. Adam Hazley gets that chance for it. And if he runs with it, if he rocks with it, then good. You're in a good spot. You are going to be having that opportunity. What is Adam Hazley going to do? I don't know. I don't know fully who Adam Hazley is, what Adam Hazley is going to be, but he deserves a legitimate shot at this thing. And the fact that they're going to go lefty-lefty in the first matchup, it gives me a little bit of a sigh of relief because it shows me that that's in the works. That's in the mindset of let him get that chance first. He is hitting against lefties in his career in the majors, 242. Not a lot of at-bats, around 60 at-bats. It's not anything insane, but it's not horrendous either. He also started off spring training lefty-lefty bomb. Lefty-lefty murdered the baseball. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Does this make sense over Odubel Herrera? I think the answer is yes. Odubel Herrera needed to be lights out and far and away better than anybody else in spring training. He hit some homers, but his OBP was like 240 something. His batting average was like 232. That's not good enough. That's not efficient enough. That is your Odubel Herrera of the past. And he hasn't played baseball in so long, but if you were to be the Odubel Herrera that deserves to beat out Adam Hazley and Roman Quinn, you got to perform insanely better than those guys. He was in the same mix. He had his high highs, he had his low lows. If you can find a more consistent player out of Adam Hazley, that might be better. Like the ceiling of Odubel is better than the ceiling of Adam Hazley. That's no doubt. But Odubel is a very insanely streaky player. He did not deserve to flat out win that job. And if he does get more consistent, maybe that's something that they do. We got a $4 donation coming in from Icon Boy. Thank you so much for the $4 donation. And Keith Richmond, $10 coming in. Happy opening day, Brodes. The Brodes Tattoo Fund in full effect. Let's go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you, Keith, for the tattoo, the Brodes Tattoo Fund. That's something that has been a hot item from Keith for quite some time. I appreciate the donations. You know what? You gotta. This is the one we got to get finished up here a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You need that tattoo fund. So thank you so much, everyone, for the donations. So I support Adam Hazley. I don't support Roman Quinn. I support him as a bench piece, but please, let's give this kid a real shot at it. Let's give Adam Hazley the opportunity. Once again, I don't know. I don't know what is going to fully happen. I really don't know. But let's find out, right? So looking at some other pieces here. I'll get to that in 1 second, actually. I'll get to that in 1 second. But first, let's make a switch in the batter's box. All right, Aaron Nola looks to start off the season hot. I've been very hard on Aaron Nola. This is something that I have been stressing for quite some time when it comes to Nola. You got to be more efficient. You got to be more effective. He gives you that elite stuff, the nasty stuff, the off-speed ew that paints the corner, and buckle swing, guy swinging and missing, buckling. You get that out of Aaron Nola, and it's special. But there's times when you need to rely on him to step up and be that dog, and he's not that dog. So there is like a problem for me when it comes to Aaron Nola stepping up big when needed. He had a phenomenal season when he was in the Cy Young running, but there have been flaws and there have been flops in Aaron Nola's game. He followed up that season where he was allowing home runs. I remember sitting there watching Nola, right? And here we go. Oh shit, that's gone. All right, what? Oh shit, that's a bomb. All right, Aaron. Holy hell, another one. Aaron Nola was getting murdered out there. He hasn't been always perfect. I love Aaron Nola, but I am allowed to be hard on him because the expectations are high. I think he's got the nasty ability to be a more effective pitcher long-term, longevity-wise, over 162, more than he gives us for the stretch in his career. So what is fair for Aaron Nola today? What's a fair expectation? That's the motto. And when we look at this, It's day one. He did have some nice pitches and some really nice games at the back end of spring training, which shows you all right, he's getting into it a little bit. And I heard Jim Salisbury say this when talking about Aaron Nola, specifically early in spring training. A lot of guys go through things where, you're only doing certain pitches early in spring training. But he was sort of revving it up a bit. He was getting more into his repertoire in his first, second outings in spring training, which showed Jim Salisbury and shows everyone that, hey, he's more amped up. Maybe he was throwing more bullpen sessions, and he was getting going earlier in that. So it's like, hey, he was prepared. And maybe that shows the preparation side of things, not only mentally, but physically as well, to help Aaron Nola take that next step. And before I get to the fair expectations, real quickly here, Jonathan Himes with the $2 donation. Roman has more strikeouts than hits in his career, with like a shrug emoji. Yeah, Roman Quinn stinks. There's no doubt about it. Roman Quinn is not a good baseball player, but there's no denying that speed is lethal. And you might be able to put some pinch running situations out there where he could be a dominating force. We can steal a bag instantly. First pitch, boom, you're getting on second base. As much as I can't stand him, it's hard to argue that he doesn't deserve a spot on the bench because of how lethal that speed is on the base paths. Thank you so much for the $2. And also, with all due respect here, Riv 2K, thank you for the $3 donation. Thoughts who the Leafs should add at the deadline. This is a Phillies pregame show leading off with Brodes. So thank you so much for the $3 donation, but I can't get too much into the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, but I really do appreciate the support. So where are we with Nola? If he goes into the seventh, so 6 1/3, 6 2/3, 6 innings completed, give me 6. 6, I'm cool with. This is a tough lineup. Ronald Acuna Jr. against the Philadelphia Phillies in his career bats .315. Freddie Freeman against the Philadelphia Phillies in his career bats .303. There are lethal weapons. And, of course, we know about Ozzie Albies. We know this lineup. We've seen this lineup. And, yes, there are tweaks along the way. But the majority of what we see every single year out of the Braves, they can do some damage. So with Aaron Nola, understanding it's game one, understanding it's opening day, give me the ball right now type of mentality. Get me 6. 6 on the dot, 6 1/3, 6 2/3. And my expectations will change. Normally, because looking at this lineup, 1, 2, 3, or this rotation, I would say, you're going to need to get a lot more when we're in the middle of things out of Nola, Wheeler, Eflin. You need to get 7+ out of those. So when Matt Moore and Chase Anderson are your pitchers, you can then rely on the bullpen in those areas. All right, Alvarado and Connor Brogdon and Archie Bradley and Coonrod and these players that are going to be coming out of your bullpen, you're going to need Nola. You're going to need Wheeler. You're going to need Eflin to go 7+ and really hand it to you so you'd have your bullpen ready to rock for those 4 and 5 guys. But for game one, what can we expect? I think we got to be realistic and say if Aaron Nola gives us 6 innings, 6, 6-1, 6-2, gives us that 6 1/3, 6 2/3, I feel like that is fine. Last year, he went 5-5 with a 3.28 ERA. I do expect better out of Aaron Nola than that this season. His career ERA against the Braves is a 3.05. So this is coming in from Cosmicon. $5 donation. Who do you think is going to have a better season, Aaron Nola or Zach Wheeler? Thank you so much for the $5, and this is a fantastic question. So, one of the things that I think Zach Wheeler gives you is consistency. Zach Wheeler is constantly going to give you what you need. You ask him, before a game starts, what's Zach Wheeler going to give you? You can kind of spit off that stat line. He's consistent. He's got that electric fastball. You know the 2 pitches he's going to rock for you and he's going to give it for you. Of course, he's got a nice repertoire, but, he throws his pitches and he's not afraid of contact. Hey, if there's a guy that gets on first base, what's that? I smell a double play ball. Okay? I smell a double play. Maybe you go to DD, or maybe you get a nice turn with Alec. Boom, over to Segura. Bang, bang. Nice double play ball. You know you're going to get that. So, Zach Wheeler's going to give you a more consistent season. Aaron Nola might give you a little bit more dominance. His ceiling, Aaron Nola's stuff and ceiling is higher. Zach Wheeler gives you more consistency. So if you want my honest opinion, who do I think is going to give you the better season? Well, I have some questions. I have more question marks surrounding Aaron Nola than I do Zach Wheeler. The problem with Zach Wheeler is this right here, and it's very important. That nail, that fingernail problem is a common theme. You talk about what is Zach Wheeler going to give you? I know what one thing he's going to give you. He's going to give you a blister on the fingernail, and that might stop you from certain starts. That might stop you from certain stretches. That might push him back another game. Like, there's something to be said about that nail where he puts coating on it, and it's his nail is off of his finger, and it's something that always happens to him. So with Zach Wheeler, keep that in mind. My gut right now tells me that when you look at this season, Zach Wheeler will give you the better season because it will be more consistent. And just to look up, just for a little bit of, if you want to play a little comparison game between the two, and I typed in Zach Steeler stats. Maybe that auto fixed into my Google search. Zach Wheeler stats. He gave you a 2.92 ERA last year compared to Nola's 3.28. So Zach Wheeler was the better pitcher last season. Not that that's breaking news by any means, but you look at Aaron Nola as the ace, air quotes, of course, because I don't personally view it that way. He's your number one. I don't know if he's your ace, but yeah, I think that to answer your question, I think Zach Wheeler is probably going to be your better pitcher because of the consistency factor. Not so much the nastier stuff, but sometimes it's not about the nastier stuff, okay? Sometimes it's about just the consistency factor, and that is big. All right, what's next in the batter's box? Bang! Hector Neris is going to be the closer. Are you scared? Am I scared? No, that's a strong word. Am I scared? No, I'm not necessarily scared about Hector Neris. Do I have questions? Yeah, no shit. This guy has been pretty brutal during certain stretches. He's had good stretches. His go-to pitch is a splitter in the dirt. Here's my pitch. It's supposed to be out of the strike zone, and I need you to chase. If he's not on and he's relying on a splitter that he can't find the strike zone to save his damn life, you're going to have some issues. Do I have a problem with Joe Girardi announcing early on, hey, this is my guy. Hey, this is my closer. After last season and after the fact that you brought in Archie Bradley, because people speculated, hey, Archie Bradley is the guy that we are going to utilize as our closer. I have a weird feeling about Archie Bradley. There's something in my stomach that concerns me a little bit about him. It comes down to, I don't know, like it's his personality, it's a little bit of his demeanor, it's a little bit of him being very vocal. I think he's coming in hot with this mentality of, hey, Phillies fans, sign JT, this and that. I don't know if I'm fully on board with Archie Bradley, and I got this little gut feeling that something's off with him. I'm okay with trying Hector Neris first. Like, it's a 162-game season. For Joe Girardi to come out and say, Hector Neris is my guy as my closer, I don't think that that's bad from the jump. Let's see what happens. I mean, if it fails, you're not stuck and glued to Hector Neris forever. And that's where I think the overreaction is. People make it seem like, hey, Hector Neris is your closer. He's going to be your guy every single damn game. That's not necessarily the case. If he fails, if he struggles, Hector Neris won't be that guy anymore. And apparently he's working on a slider. All right, I don't know what that means. I don't know what to expect. Am I putting my full faith in a Hector Neris slider? You want me to be honest? Hell no. I'm not putting my faith in there. I think we know what. Look, I'm a sample size guy. Hey, I need to see a track record guy. What's the track record of Hector Neris? He'll give you some good stretches, and he'll give you some hideous ones. I'll never forget the save he blew last year in Atlanta against the Braves. Oh, it was a nightmare. It was a disaster. I couldn't believe it. And doing that face right there just reminds me of something that I did the other day. Like, thinking about Philadelphia sports. How's this? Oh, right there. Right there. That's me thinking about Hector Neris last year in Atlanta. One more time. Oh, What? No! Oh! Oh! Heck! Oh! Here comes Hector. No! Here comes Brandon. No! Brandon Workman. No! That was my reaction last year way too many times. And you're going to get that. You are going to get that out of Hector Neris when he leaves for the bullpen. But there's going to be stretches where he's good. You just have to figure out what it's going to be. When is that going to happen? Only time will tell, of course. Real quickly, let me get to some of these donations. Is the bullpen 3-batter? The last I heard, it was. Look, baseball doesn't even know their rules yet. I mean, baseball doesn't know DH, no DH. I mean, the baseball is out of whack. So I don't know if I don't even know if baseball knows, Chris. I don't even know if baseball knows what they're doing. I don't know if Rob Manfred even knows that today is opening day. He's probably sitting on his couch. What's going on? He's probably waking up a little hungover from last night, maybe stoned. What the hell is going on? Oh, opening day. Oh, damn. Oh, Mets canceled? Jeez. I guess. Oh, Francisco Lindor signed? I had no idea. I don't even think baseball knows what's going on, Chris. I don't even know. A $2 donation coming in from John. Yes, John, you've been around for a while for my Phillies recaps. I appreciate you. Braves fan, I knew that as well. Glad to see you talking baseball. Of course, John. Thank you so much for all the support. You've been a loyal supporter as a Braves fan. I appreciate you. And if you don't know, Leading Off with Brodes will be every weekday. So Monday through Friday, 1 hour before the game, we will have a live stream. We have another Braves fan coming in here saying $5 donation. Braves fan here. Just wanted to say good luck with the season. Should be a lot of fun. Stay safe and keep up the good work. Oh, I'm going to break down with all the kindness. You know, I'm supposed to expect some people to come in here and say, Brodes, you're an idiot. Go Braves, Phillies blow. And then I can do something like this. Oh, these Braves fans. Oh, they're delusional. What? Oh. But you guys are being nice. I don't know how to handle this. Nice? We're not supposed to be nice. I'm supposed to flip you off and say, screw you. All jokes aside, thank you so much for the donations. You Braves fans, you chop on, as they say, right? Chop on. If you start getting back on track a little bit, as you can tell, I can get a little sidetrack here with the donations in the comments. With Hector Neris, I am fully okay with giving it a shot, giving it an opportunity, and if it fails, if it becomes something you can't do, let's go on to the next guy. Whether that's Archie Bradley, whether that's, I was talking to Jeff Mosher of Inside the Birds. We were texting last night. He hit me with, hey, I'm maybe Connor Brogdon. I was like, whoa, I think they go with a couple different options before Connor Brogdon gets in the mix. And if you're going with Connor Brogdon, I think that tells me a lot of other options didn't work out, and you're probably on a little bit of some of an issue here if that's the case. Like if you're going deep into Connor Brogdon mode, and I like Connor Brogdon, but if we're going full on closer for him, that means all of your other options flopped. Hector Neris flopped, Archie Bradley flopped, all your other pieces flopped. So. And I don't think Alvarado's your only lefty. Alvarado is your only lefty. Is that a concern? Yeah. No, I think JoJo Romero will be up at some point. I think Dave Dombrowski and Joe Girardi have a plan. They understand, like, hey, this isn't going to be something that works long-term of just a lefty. And what happens if he gets hurt? That's a scary sight. Now you really aren't relying on much other than JoJo Romero. I would have to think that they're smart baseball minds that have a plan. And Connor Brogdon's numbers against lefties and Kinsler's numbers against lefties, that's another name I have failed to mention to this point. Kinsler is a guy that I can rely on. Just because they have great numbers as righties against lefties, that's not a good enough philosophy for me to full on just believe that can be the case. Another $5 donation coming in saying, oh, that will come. We are just waiting until the All-Star break when we start talking shit about one another and all. I'm fine for that. Look, that's the beauty of sports, my friend. The beauty of sports is getting into it and getting into passionate debates on sports topics and with the other side. So thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. All the kind words. Thank you so much. Ryan with a $5 donation here. Doesn't say anything, but thank you, Ryan, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. All right, let's go back to the batter's box because we have a question about our very own Joe Girardi. We're back in the batter's box. Does Joe Girardi deserve a fresh start this season? If we're being realistic with ourselves, Joe Girardi did not have some fantastic season last year. It's just a reality of the situation. But my man had nothing to work with out of the bullpen. You want to yell at him for going to Workman? Well, who'd you want to go to? David Hale was bad. Hector Neris was bad. Tommy Hunter was bad. Remember Tommy Michael Jordan Hunter? There was a point last year where we looked at Tommy Hunter as Michael Jordan. He had that type of mentality. He wanted the ball. He wanted to go on the mound. Tommy Michael Jordan Hunter was actually a phrase last year out of the bullpen. Thank the Lord we're not going to see his ass anymore. But you had no option. So you really weren't able to pick and choose much. It's like, what do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? Here we go again. Oh, let's go to the bullpen. Joe Girardi goes to the bullpen and he picks Brandon. No! All right, who do you want him to go to? Do you want to go to Hector? No! Please don't go to David Hale. No! Adam Moore. No! Tommy Hunter. No! Every person, it was terrible over and over and over again. So, look, it's a tough spot for Joe Girardi. My gut tells me, if you say, Brodes, does he deserve a chance? Does he deserve a fresh slate? Think about this. 60-game season. Remember what happened before the season, too. Remember that nonsense? The fighters. the bullpen and the players and the owners were fighting back and forth, going back and forth with one another. They were throwing punches back and forth because, oh, we want this. No, we want that. Well, we want this and we want that. And you didn't know when the season was going to happen, and it was a nightmare. It was so unbelievable back and forth. It was crazy where, to think that preparing for a season, it's so difficult to do that when you are a manager. And I didn't think he made great in-game decisions. I question it, but it's just like Alain Vigneault right now. I'm upset that Alain Vigneault is making some bad decisions with the Flyers, but the alternatives that I'm bringing up, I think they're better alternatives, but those alternatives still aren't winning you hockey games. You're still not becoming a better hockey team. You suck. You blow. So I don't like Joel Farabee on the fourth line. I don't like Oscar Lindblom getting scratched when he just had success with Giroux. But I also don't think what I want to do is going to change that much with the team because they stink. So last year, while Joe Girardi, I don't love some of the things Joe Girardi did, but they stunk anyway. They stunk. So it doesn't really matter, the decisions. I wonder what Dave Dombrowski, and Brian, I see your donation. I'll get to that in just one moment. I think with Joe Girardi, when Dave Dombrowski enters the room, enters the chat, that's what the kids say these days, right? Oh, Dave Dombrowski entered the chat. When you see that, that is so monstrous to the focus level, the mentality, the change of it. Okay, so Matt Klentak's a bum. He's gone. It changes the whole entire identity of the team. What did Steve Cohen do to the Nets? Changed everything. You sign Francisco Lindor. You go out and get pitching to an already elite pitching staff. You change the identity of the team. I think Dave Dombrowski, as much as I questioned it in the beginning because I don't like the way it ends when Dave Dombrowski is here, when Dave Dombrowski leaves spots, they always blow up. And that's a concern with him being here is when he leaves, it becomes just a joke. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can find a sustained success type of way to be a president of baseball operations. But he's here, and I liked his moves to this point, and he brings professionalism to the clubhouse. Does that change like Joe Girardi's approach and everything now that there's a different man up top? All right, Brian comes in with the $5. Either Hastley takes hold of the center field position, or I guarantee you Dombrowski trades him or Moniak for an everyday center fielder. Keep up the good work. Well, that perfectly works with the Joe Girardi discussion because I think Joe Girardi and Dave Dombrowski are like not one in the same because they do two totally different jobs, but from the professionalism identity standpoint, they are big with that. They change that narrative with the team. There's one thing that is huge with the Dave Dombrowski factor in Hastley. They don't have ties to these prospects. Mickey Moniak played last year. I thought there was a sense of urgency from Matt Klentak to try and prove, hey, I can draft. I promise I can draft. I promise you I can draft. Play Mickey Moniak. You have to play Mickey Moniak. We know GMs have a lot to say with analytics. They hand the managers the lineup card. There's a lot in play nowadays with GMs and managers in baseball where Mickey Moniak was forced. There are not ties emotionally or professionally from Dave Dombrowski to Adam Hazley and Mickey Moniak. I think that's a great assessment, Brian, that it's possible if he doesn't win the job that there's another move. And let's be real. The way I heard Joe Girardi speak, and thank you, Brian, so much for the $5. The way I heard Joe Girardi speak about Odubel Herrera and the lack of consistency, I do think that there's something to be said about if he ends up getting better and becoming that player and fixing himself and becoming more consistent, you might see him get caught up. I really do believe that he gets caught up if Adam Hazley doesn't take control. I really do think that that's in play. So something to think about here as I just fix something in our comment section here. So yeah, I'm super pumped up though. The Dave Dombrowski stuff is really interesting. And why don't we, for the last batter, if you will, in the batter's box, check out. All right, so we will open it up a little bit more at this backstretch here. We have about 17 minutes or so remaining in the first ever Leading Off with Brodes. And just a reminder, if you're new, if you came in late, what Leading Off with Brodes is Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. So weekday games, not weekday games, but weekday games, Monday through Friday. 1 hour before. So if the game's at 7, 6 o'clock. The game's at 7:30, 6:30. 1 hour before the game, Monday through Friday, Leading Off with Brodes live stream, heading into Phillies baseball. Super excited about it. And also, and I'll be reminding people this throughout the day, if you have not already, go to my Twitter page at Brodes81, and at the top of my pinned profile, I am giving away a Bryce Harper jersey. Make sure you get yourself entered. You do not want to miss this chance. You do not want to miss this chance. By the way, also, this isn't an everyday thing. This is just today because of opening day, and I'll implement this more throughout. But we will be going live. That's right, live. So after this is over, we'll shut down the stream, and then within 5 to 10 minutes, we will reopen another stream where we will hang out, kick back, relax, and watch the Phillies today. So that's the reminders, and let's get back into things. As the batter's box says, your comments and thoughts. So let's go to the chat box here and fire away some of your questions, some of your thoughts, and some of, your opinions heading in here. Now, we got a $4 donation coming in from Corey, Braves fan here. 305 is coming quickly. Good luck. We had a ton of Braves fans enter the stream today. Thank you, Corey, so much for the $4 donation. I really appreciate all the support to this point. I'm looking forward to it. Your lineup is scary. I love watching. Today, different story. I got my game face on because you're playing the Phils, but take away the Phillies ties when it comes to a pure baseball standpoint. The entertainment of the game, the beauty of the game. Watching Freddie Freeman play, I mean, he's like the most underrated star in baseball. He does not get enough credit. I love watching Freddie Freeman. I love watching Ronald Acuna Jr. I love it all. The Braves lineup, outside of being a Phillies fan, it's one of the most entertaining fucking lineups there is, man. I love watching the Braves play, but not so much today. Today, I hope you all go 0 for 5 and Aaron Nola strikes out 18. Give me something like that. How about that? How about that? I don't even know if that makes sense, but it does in my mind. Thank you so much, Corey. Thank you so much. Do you think Bryce Harper hits a bomb today? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. How about that? Yeah, I fucking do. Yeah, I do. On a 2-2 count. Ooh, getting specific. First at-bat? Nah. I think he'll probably strike out his first at-bat against Fried. Fried will get him. Fried will get him on a nasty off-speed. And then there goes Bryce Harper swinging away, trying to hit a bomb. He's going to think fastball. He's going to think fastball. It's going to be an off speed. He's going to swing right. It'll probably be ugly. And then we're like, damn it, Bryce, looking for that home run right off the bat. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I really do. Brandon with the $2 donation says, sup. Will respond with a sup myself. Thank you so much, Brandon, for the $2 donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jeff goes, Nola, 7 strong, 7 Ks, 3 hits, 1 run. Harper and Didi go, yard. Phils win 5-3. Sign me up for that any day of the week. Now, here's the question. Is Didi Gregorius' home run to left field or right field? I bet you the odds on that is minus 50,000. Minus 50,000 right field. I wonder what the odds would be on the left field bomb. Plus $1 million for Didi Gregorius to hit a bomb to left field? I mean, he just doesn't know how. He flat out does not know how. How many strikeouts does Aaron Nola have? That's a great question. Why don't we, I have not looked yet on my DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll throw this up here, Joseph. How many strikeouts does Nola have today? Well, why don't we pop open our handy-dandy DraftKings Sportsbook, and you can go and download DraftKings Sportsbook and use promo code Brodes when you sign up for all of these fantastic odds and promotion boosts that they have for you. So if you have not already, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use promo code Brodes. You will not want to miss out on these offers. All right, so let's go to Phillies, Braves. Let's look at the strikeouts. Bryce Harper's plus 310 to hit a ding-dong, by the way. Ronald Acuna Jr. is plus 350, so Bryce Harper has the best odds. But let's go to Aaron Nola. Nola's at, 7.5. Holy hell, look, it's day one. It's day one. Now, the under is a little bit more favored. The under is minus 107 compared to the over at plus 1, or excuse me, the over, I thought that was a plus. The over 7.5 Ks is minus 120. Damn. They are expecting Aaron Nola to have a dog of a day. If you're telling me Nola gets 8 Ks today, I'm pretty pumped up about it. It's day one. That's the only reason why I'm saying this. Like, I know what Aaron Nola can do, to be fair, but it's day one, right? Like, am I crazy to see that number and think it's a little high? Just a little high? I'm not mad about it. Let's go, Phils. Let's go, Phils. Damn, here we go. Anything else popping in here? You think we get an Oppo bomb this year from Didi Gregorius? No! You know what I think when I hear that? No way! That doesn't make the same amount of sense as it did when we were talking about the bullpen last year and the disaster that we saw. The over-under is 7. I'm taking the over with the Phils in the upset. All right, let's go, Phils. You know, you're at home. You're at home. Citizens Bank Park. People in the stands. What's Friedman line? I think it was 4.5. I think, did I say Friedman? If I said Friedman, I'm thinking of hockey. If I said Fried, I meant to say Fried. Now I'm going Friedman on us. Now I'm thinking of the Philadelphia Flyers. I need everything in my life when it comes to the Flyers needs to be out. So Max Fried, over 4.5 is favored by minus 167. So it's pretty favored there, and under 4.5 is plus 131. So they see definitely more than 4 strikeouts, which makes a lot of sense for sure. But Acuna Jr. is going to blast one in the visitor bullpen. Ew, stop. Ew, don't be telling me that. Please, no. You're afraid you might get disappointed this year. Who's afraid that we're going to be disappointed this year? If Nola pitches for contact, he'll go 7 innings. I need 6+. I need 6+ out of Aaron Nola. So whether it's 6 on the dot, whether it's 6 1/3, 6 2/3, and that is not going to be a long-term type of mentality for me. This is day one. I got to be realistic. If he goes 5 2/3 and he's walking off the bump with 98 pitches, I'm going to be pissed off. If he goes 5, if he goes anything, I'm going to be disappointed. I mean, I'll be even disappointed with 6 on the dot, but I can understand the circumstances and realize that my expectations have to be a little bit tempered based off of day one in the season. But give me a nice solid outing. Give me something special. Like a good special 6 and a third, 6 2/3. Let's not toy those words around too much. When I say give me something special, I'm not talking about a no-hit or anything, but like give me a nice special day where you give me 6 1/3 and you dice. And the Braves are struggling, and the Braves can't figure you out. You fool them, but you only go 6. Like, give me a special 6 1/3, 6 2/3, things of that nature. Yes, I do understand that the announcements are on here. We have about 9 minutes left in the show before we end this stream. So, $2 donation coming in from Chris. Where's Reggie McClain when you need him? What a legend. Oh, no. We go back to the common theme of the show. Here's Reggie McClain coming out of the bullpen. Oh, one more time, Reggie McClain. We're going to look back at that season and just laugh. Laugh in misery, Just laugh in pain. Now that it's over, it's like, God, whew, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord it's all over. We don't have to go through that again. No, don't be throwing Nick Pavetta's in the chat and Vince Velasquez is in the chat. Can we have some serious conversation? All right, how about this? Since it's the first show and it's, you don't have anything to base it off of, like there's no games yet to really dive into and talk about what we've seen to this point. My fair season expectations. If you ask me today, April 1st, 2021, on opening day, where do I see this Phillies team landing? All right, I see this Phillies team landing here. 86 wins, which would be third in the NL East. All right, I'm writing this down. 86 wins, third in the NL East. You fall behind the Mets, you don't make the wild card. But you're going to have some exciting baseball this year. And it sucks. You got to and maybe, look, would I be absolutely stunned if this team has a nice season? Based off of last year, the batting order and the lineup was good. You were scoring runs, you were producing runs, and you had so many leads. We know about the bullpen. The bullpen was a disaster. So, with that being said, with the disaster that's happening, if you fix the bullpen to if you go from historically bad to just bad, are you in the playoffs last year? And I think you can make the argument that, yes, you weren't that far off. You weren't that far behind of a playoff spot. So if you fix the issues in the bullpen, will that make you a playoff team? I think the answer to that question is yes, very possibly so. You do know that the division got a little bit tougher, which means you're going to be battling internally a little bit more, and you're going to be going head-to-head with the Mets, with the Braves. You go Braves, Mets, Braves, Mets. That's 4 straight series of tough fucking baseball. So, it's the win total, if the Braves win it at 91 wins, you could see the Mets coming in second at 88, and then the Phillies right behind them at 86. I can see that being a scenario. So, my expectations with where we are today is right here. You get 86 wins, and you are third in the division. You don't end up making the wild card, and that's kind of what I see. That's where I see it. That's where I think this is going to be. And we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But that is my day one, opening day assessment on where we are. So, that's kind of where we are going to end the show today here on Leading Off with Brodes. I can't thank everyone enough for coming in here and hanging out for the debut episode. I know I mentioned this a couple of times, but since it is the first show, I just want to stress it so everyone understands what exactly Leading Off with Brodes is. Monday through Friday, 1 hour before the games, Phillies games, I will lead you in to Phillies baseball. That is what Leading Off with Brodes is. Monday through Friday, Leading Off with Brodes, we will have a 1 hour pregame show, 1 hour before the first pitch. All right? So what we are going to do now is this stream will end. And in about 10 minutes or so, a new stream will pop up. And we will be going live on the outside of my, on the other side of my my wall here, because I'm in my studio. I will kick up a new stream, and we are going to watch the game. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to embrace it. Maybe I'll make a little lunch. Maybe instead of coffee with Brodes, it'll be a little lunch with Brodes. We'll hang out. We'll kick it. We'll have some fun. So I will see you all there in about, give me like 10 minutes or so to set the stream up, to get situated. I got all the TVs on right now with every baseball game going. So the TVs are already on, baby. That's right. What electric bill? My fiance is probably going to kill me. Let's be realistic. But So, all right. Thank you, everyone. We'll end on this note. We will end on this note here, and this will finish off episode 1 of Leading Off with Brodes. All right, everyone. See you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much for the first show.